Hello YouTube, back again, and we're still working on the 2006 Altima headlight adjustment. And if you have this car, this should help you. Here is the first part we're looking at on the right side of the wheel well. This breather box for the air filter, this one bolt needs to come out, and I recommend using a long extension. This actually, I thought when I looked at it, was going to be the hard side, but it turns out this side's easier than the easy side. And the easy side actually is harder. But most of the people that were doing this video or similar with other later model or other cars said that the lights tended to drop and be down in the dirt. Well, for some reason mine were the opposite. And this is another annoying thing, is unless I keep the car running, the headlights go off. But as you can see, my headlights should be on that board and they're going up. I'll walk that way a little bit. They're shining the tree above it. Let's see. Yeah, you can see it a little bit. But it's up in the tree and you can't see the ground. So I'm adjusting, and this isn't my first time. I'm actually wondering if there's a separate adjustment for the brights and the dimmers. But as you can see, this box needs to come out. There's actually a 10mm bolt that's right behind here. But to get that off, this needs to come off. Luckily for me, all these plastic bolts or inserts or whatever you want to call them are all snapped off. That's one of the biggest disappointments. I really like this car. It's comfortable. But one of the biggest disappointments are the plastic pieces. But now that I got this single bolt off, I got the front plastic that covers the radiator off, this whole thing is loose, and you could take that hose off. It's probably easier on the hose, but not necessary. You can wiggle it out. Let me set the phone down for a minute. And when it goes back in, basically this whole thing sits in these two rubber grommets and just has that one bolt that holds the whole thing. Now you can see behind this headlight, and this is the bolt right by that red wire. Clockwise is down and counterclockwise is up. So I definitely need to go down with mine. I don't know if you can see this too well, but that was not clockwise. But here's my headlight. I'm probably, let's paste this off just so you get an idea. Starting at my car, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. My large steps are about a yardstick, so that was about 36 feet. And that actually gives me a good idea how I can see while I'm driving. This is just a little long, so I'm going to pull one of the extensions out. Quiet. So let's see what we got. I know with this lighting it's kind of hard, but it's dropping. And I would say that's pretty close. I may be back again, but I really don't think so. I think that looks pretty good. I can tell the other side is still in the air. So, time to put this piece back in. You can see how fast and simple that was. All I had to do was ratchet that nut down, dropped the headlight, and I'll have to do the other side too, which is next. So give me 1 minute. Let me set this down to put this piece back in. It's going to go right into that grommet, and then I'll fasten it down with that one 10mm bolt. So even though it pretty much falls into place, I'm still trying to take a peek, but it dropped right in there. You could see I'm pretty close on that hole. I want to be lined up. So that screw, it's hard for me to show you and do this at the same time. We're in. So now all I have to do is go back to clockwise. Go back to clockwise. There we go. Really is different type of mechanic that can show stuff while recording. Maybe one of these days I'll afford a mechanic, but currently just trying to share with you the things that have been hard for me to figure out. And I gotta say, I've done this a couple times now, but at first I was hesitant and reluctant to do this because I thought I was gonna have to take the whole headlight out to adjust it. These should be lined up. If I had the plastic little push screws that went in there, that would be all right, but still keeping the box closed, so that's all I care about. Next. Okay, here's the headlight. And really this water canister, and I think this is the computer, is in my way. They put it directly where the headlight adjustment is. So I'm gonna try to get back there. This was supposed to be the easy side. Got to remove that screw right there and that screw right there, which is a little tough to get to because of the air conditioner line, but not too tough. So loose enough, should be able to unscrew. One screw. Nissan does have a nice little lip where you can put a couple screws so you don't lose them. And exactly what I was telling you guys. These headlights turn off after about 5 minutes of not being used, which makes it really frustrating when you're trying to do this job. I could have left the car running, but then we'd have the issue of you being able to hear me, and I think low light is bad enough. So now we got both sides of this loose. Let's pull this out, set it up over here. This one is going to be really hard to show you, but the nut is in there, and it's right about where this line is. And somebody can probably tell me, hey, you could have just taken that water thing out. You can see down in there, that is the nut. It's actually just below that red wire. So I'm going to go ahead and set the phone down, because as you can see, all this junk is still behind me, but with the long ratchet, I can adjust it. Make that long extension. So back to counterclockwise, I'm dropping this. So if I said this reverse before, counterclockwise is lowering this light. And it actually looked like it lowered. As you can see, it's not in the tree anymore. This is really lousy photography, but it still looks, and I know that piece of wood is dark on the bottom, but it still looks like I'm not having as much light on the bottom right. So I'm going to go a little bit lower. That's about as low as that's letting me go. So let's see. I think it looks a little bit better. I am on a slope, but you can see if I can go in a little bit. Yeah, it lets me do that. You can see it looks a little brighter higher up on that right side. But I'm going to leave it there. If I have to do another adjustment, I will. But this gives you enough to see how to adjust these. 2006 Nissan Altima. And now it's just put it back together. This one's not too hard to put back. Move my flashlight out of the way. And sure that thing works pretty well until you throw your ratchet and flashlight up there. But I didn't lose them. So 2 screws go back in, and I'm ready to drive it down the road and check it out again. If this helped you, give me a like or subscribe or whatever that stuff is. I don't really have all this stuff down yet, but just even at least give me a comment and say, hey, thanks. Hope it helped. You guys have a great night. Thank you.